Still on time. There you go. Relax. See everything coming.
He was fighting his big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just...
Gervonta Davis has stepped up his preparation, locking in intense sparring rounds against heavyweight fighters as he gears up to face Jake Paul. The lightweight star isn't easing off. He's testing his strength against opponents who outweigh him significantly. During one particularly heated session, witnesses say Davis landed a powerful punch that left the heavyweight visibly stunned.
I know you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was fighting his big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
Gervonta Tank Davis is once again drawing major attention, this time for dominating intense sparring rounds against heavyweight fighters. Known for packing serious power in the lightweight and super lightweight divisions, Davis is proving that size isn't holding him back. Recent training clips show him unleashing crisp, rapid-fire combinations that keep much bigger opponents on their toes. His ability to control the tempo, slip incoming shots, and respond with precision strikes highlights just how locked in his preparation is. Every exchange shows not only his knockout power, but also the stamina and timing needed to deal with larger, stronger fighters, an edge he'll look to carry into his upcoming clash with Jake Paul.
Look like you're playing pool with a short stick. Ball in between him. Ball in between him. Punch when he punch, yeah. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch. Yep. They ain't stopped firing. We slowed down. Now we're gonna commence firing again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you ain't gotta get close, Tank, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, Tank. Keep rolling, Cam. All the way down the road. Come to me, baby.
Even though Gervonta Davis often faces sparring partners who are much bigger than him, he continues to welcome the challenge. These sessions aren't just about showing strength. They're designed to sharpen his timing and technique. Davis is refining his ability to control range, dictate the pace, and keep his signature explosiveness intact, even when dealing with heavier opponents. According to his camp, working with larger fighters is a calculated move to fine-tune his angles, footwork, and reaction time, skills they believe are key to neutralizing Jake Paul's unpredictable style. Since Jake's biggest asset is his size, Davis is using these heavyweight rounds to eliminate any intimidation factor ahead of fight night. It's a smart, disciplined strategy aimed at preparing him for every possible scenario once the first bell sounds.
Here's a clip of Gervonta Tank Davis releasing footage of him training and sparring with the heavyweight ahead of his showdown with YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, that's set to take place November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Tank Davis is 5'4" and he weighs in at 135. His last fight, he actually was 133 pounds. Jake Paul is 6'1" with a 76-inch arm reach, and he weighed in at 199 pounds his last fight. And fight before that, he weighed in at 224 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis has a 67-inch arm reach. This is why this fight has to be ruled an exhibition and not a real professional boxing match, because no boxing commission would sanction it. Let me know what y'all think about this. As you see, Tank Davis is using and working on movement. Let me know. I'm gone. Peace.
Former UFC fighter and analyst Chael Sonnen has made it clear that Gervonta Davis is carrying a major responsibility into this fight. In Sonnen's view, while Jake Paul has undeniably brought attention to boxing, it's up to Davis to remind the world what true high-level boxing looks like. For Sonnen, this isn't just another match, it's a moment to make a statement. Davis represents the sport's tradition of skill, timing, and years of disciplined training, standing in contrast to Jake's hype-driven rise. Sonnen expressed full confidence that Tank's plan is simple: cut through the spectacle with pure technique and power. A knockout wouldn't just be another win on his record, it would send a clear message about what real boxing is all about.
Which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. my skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in, I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
Fight week fast approaching. New footage and reports have made it clear that Gervonta Davis has been putting in serious work against heavyweight sparring partners. These aren't light, routine sessions, they're intense. High-pressure simulations designed to push him well past his comfort zone. According to his team, the strategy is simple. If he can handle bigger, stronger men in camp, the real fight will feel less overwhelming. Working with heavyweights forces Davis to refine his defense, improve his head movement, and maximize the power behind his shots against larger frames. Each round builds not just his endurance, but also his confidence, proving that his sharp timing and precision can level the playing field. It's a bold and uncommon training approach, one that shows exactly how seriously he's preparing for Jake Paul.
Lucas, get him! Lucas, get him! Take it up. Get that stick, short stick. Go. There you go. There you go. Relax. See everything up. Everything's up.
Respected boxing coach and analyst Teddy Atlas has added his voice to the conversation, calling Gervonta Tank Davis one of the most dangerous and technically gifted fighters in the sport today. Atlas acknowledged that some fans point to Jake Paul's size advantage, but in his view, that edge fades once the bell rings. He explained that Davis's years of facing elite-level opponents give him a level of ring IQ and adaptability Jake can't match. Tank has shared the ring with every kind of fighter: counterpunchers, pressure-heavy aggressors, taller boxers, and slick defensive specialists. Jake, on the other hand, hasn't faced true boxing veterans at that caliber. Atlas dismissed the popular "what if Jake lands one big shot" narrative, emphasizing that Davis's ability to adjust under pressure is what separates a seasoned fighter from someone who treats the sport as entertainment.
I have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're gonna find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's gonna sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people will go and everything else that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that, it's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that, but I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! and he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Customato told me he loved Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense.
Sports commentator Max Kellerman offered a more personal perspective on Gervonta Davis's mindset heading into the Jake Paul fight. According to Kellerman, part of Tank's motivation is tied to securing long-term financial stability and creating more space in his life to focus on family. After years of non-stop training camps, title fights, and intense schedules, Davis reportedly saw this matchup as an opportunity that combines both spectacle and significant reward. Kellerman suggested that Davis has been reflecting on his career pace and is considering easing up after years at the top. This bout, in his eyes, represents more than just another paycheck. It's a strategic transitional moment. A blockbuster event like this allows Davis to enjoy the benefits of everything he's accomplished, while proving he remains one of the most dangerous and skilled fighters in the sport today.
A guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting Jake Paul now. It's a cat.
During the promotional tour, analysts Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora drew attention to the sharp contrast between the two fighters' personalities. Jake Paul leaned into his familiar role as the showman, talking big, hyping the event, and using his flair for promotion to keep the spotlight on him. Gervonta Tank Davis, meanwhile, remained composed and unbothered, showing little interest in trading words. Mannix observed that while Jake's talent lies in generating attention, Tank's strength lies in delivering results inside the ring. Mora added that Davis's quiet demeanor isn't a weakness, it's a sign of how locked in he is. Both analysts agreed that when the cameras stop rolling and the fight begins, it won't be the trash talk that matters, but Davis's skill, timing, and power that will make the loudest statement.
And even though Jake Paul tried to egg him on and try to goad Gervonta Davis on, he's dealing with somebody that is not a quick-witted, thinker. He's not a quick-witted speaker. Tank Davis is explosive in the ring. He's fast and powerful in the ring. He's charismatic inside the ring when he's punching. But when you put a microphone in front of him, he's not articulate. He doesn't know how to quickly respond to people. He stutters a lot. He does more stuttering than talking. So Gervonta Davis in front of a microphone is not going to sell. So Tank Davis shouldn't be put in a podium like that. He should have speakers for him. He should have someone talking for him. He should have a mouthpiece. Tank Davis is not going to sell this fight, and Jake Paul knows it. That's the reason he kept throwing jabs at him. He tried to get Tank out of his shell. Tank's not quick verbally enough. He's not quick-witted. He's not quick with the tongue. So in order for him to sell this fight, he's going to have an adversary that can spit something back. Like, for instance, Chavez Jr., he didn't have that quick-witted response, but he had the backing. He had the loyal following. And Chavez Jr., like many Mexicans, don't need to speak because they do all their fighting in the ring, and people know that. Tank Davis, I don't know, man. He didn't look good in his last fight. He's not fighting the killers in his division. People are getting off that Tank train, and we know that he's had his issues outside the ring. The love's not there anymore. Tank Davis is losing a lot of passion, a lot of followers, and people aren't buying this circus that Jake Paul's trying to sell. And I'm glad that people are getting off this train. The commission in Georgia got off this damn train. That's why they had to move this fight to Florida.
Former world champion Tim Bradley offered some behind-the-scenes insight, suggesting that Gervonta Davis didn't have many major options on the table before agreeing to face Jake Paul. According to Bradley, Davis originally hoped to secure a rematch with Lamont Roach, but talks reportedly broke down. With limited marquee matchups available and growing pressure from promoters, the Jake Paul fight emerged as the most realistic and lucrative opportunity. Bradley acknowledged that while some may see the matchup as a calculated risk, it also opens the door to massive exposure and a significant payday. He pointed out that fans often overlook the complex factors behind these kinds of decisions. Things like management strategies, timing, and broadcast negotiations. In his view, regardless of how the deal came together, Davis is poised to capitalize on the moment and remind everyone why he's considered one of the sport's elite talents.
I do. I'm not making no excuses for Tank at all, but this is just my perspective, man. Tank had no other choice but to do this fight, man. He had no other choice. You know, he was in training for that Lamont Rose fight, and, you know, then the covers got pulled off, you know, and then this fight came about. You know, this is an inside thing, man. I swear, man, I'm telling y'all, this is an inside thing. You know, this is something that Al, PBC wanted Canelo to do, you know, because this is how they eat. This is how they gonna eat. This is how they gonna recoup, you know. As you know, PBC, they got no legs to stand on, man. You know, money going out, not enough money coming in. They got to spend their own bread, you know, for everything, you know, for everything. So, you know, they need money coming in. And their guy, Canelo, left. He with Turkey now. They wanted Canelo to do this fight. And now Tank is obligated to do this fight, man. Again, to save PBC. I promise y'all, man. I'm telling you. You know, Tank was already signed up to fight Roach rematch. He was already signed up, you know. You could just tell, man. I can tell, you know. Yesterday, listening to the press conference, I saw, like, I don't know what it was. It was something with Jalen Love, and it's like a secret. I don't know what that is. It's a secret, though.
Following the press event, some supporters started wondering if Gervonta Davis was truly engaged with the upcoming bout against Jake Paul. People noted his reserved attitude, distant gaze, and limited reactions to Jake's taunts. While a few interpreted this as intense focus, others took it as a lack of interest. The noticeable difference in size between the two fighters also sparked discussions about fairness and competitiveness. Many anticipated Tank to be more outspoken, but instead he appeared calm and somewhat detached, possibly conserving his energy ahead of the match. Nevertheless, those close to Davis emphasized that his quietness shouldn't be confused with indifference. It's actually a part of his mental strategy. He prefers to avoid wasting energy on distractions that don't contribute to winning.
Jake Paul legitimately cooked Gervonta Davis in that press conference, and I really don't know how to feel about that. And to be honest with you, I still don't understand how boxing even allowed this to be made. Like, I don't. Like, dog, this is not an overstatement. Like, literally one of the core pillars holding up boxing is this literal, like, fake superiority complex that they have over literally every other combat sport. Despite literally being the least effective main combat sport there is. Brother, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, brother, I put judo over I put boxing. In terms of practicality of combat, oh yeah, 100%. Brother, if Jake Paul makes it competitive against Gervonta Davis, I'm looking at this like, brother. Oh, well, weight difference, brother. Gervonta Davis has been training his entire life. I'm sorry, bro. It's bad enough that the fact that if this was under any other combat sport, this would literally be like one of the most one-sided matchups of all time. And it wouldn't be in favor of Davis. No, dog, if you did this under an MMA rule set, Oh my gosh, bro. Paul cooks Gervonta. It's not close at all. Like round one finish level. Like, understand this, Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul is taking place in literally the only combat sport where Davis should win. I'm still shocked that they allowed it to be made. Because, like, there's no upside. If Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis, now we're kind of looking like, wait a minute. What? Like, brother, don't forget. I still think it's a horrible look that Tyson Fury couldn't finish Francis Ngannou. That is so bad. Well, Francis Ngannou's a great boxer. Francis Ngannou, no joke, is one of the worst boxers to ever be in the UFC. He just has absurd power. No, look at the technique of Francis Ngannou. It's not that good. It's carried by power. Like, going into it, like, I'm hyped, but it's also, I'm looking at this like, bro, Gervonta has to finish, bro.
While Jake Paul has frequently been criticized for capitalizing on boxing's traditions, some now turn their scrutiny toward Davis. Critics argue that by choosing to face Jake, Tank might be endorsing the influencer boxing trend he previously disapproved of. Supporters hoping he would take on established contenders feel let down, viewing this fight as more about entertainment than building a true legacy. However, others defend his choice, noting that boxing has long mixed athletic competition with showmanship. For Davis, it's about shaping the story, proving that even in this era of crossover events, skill and authenticity remain crucial. A strong performance against Jake Paul could challenge the skeptics and help restore the balance between spectacle and genuine boxing talent.
Paul is not the problem with boxing, Tank Davis is. Jake Paul's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a Disney Channel kid, YouTube star turned boxer. Of course, he's gonna make these stupid spectacle matchups. He doesn't care about his career, his legacy, or the sport. Meanwhile, we have Tank Davis, the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner, who has real talent. And if he was actually consistent in the ring and was willing to get in with some of the best fighters in the world, he could be top 3 pound for pound best fighters in the sport. But instead, Tank just wants to hold up his division for 5 years and make a mockery of the sport, especially with this fight.
That wraps up today's video.